Here's a question for you. When you're in your 70s or older, do you want to be independent and active or dependent and immobile? Well, I would hope all of you would have said independent and active, but the reality is if you are not actively working now to build your aerobic system and conditioning, the odds are much higher that you will be immobile and dependent on others when you're older, and that would suck. Our aerobic system and level of conditioning is at the base of everything we do. If your heart and circulatory system can't efficiently deliver oxygen to your muscles, you won't be able to move well and you won't be independent. If you're looking to build your aerobic conditioning so you can remain mobile and active late into life, this video is a must-watch, because in this video we will cover how you should be training to build your aerobic conditioning and show you how to get started training even if you haven't left your couch in weeks. Welcome back to the Fitness Roadmap, where we help you navigate the path to lifelong strength and health. I'm Mark, and it's good to have you here to talk about how you can increase your aerobic conditioning to help you achieve lifelong strength and health. Now, this video is part of a series on lifelong strength and health that I'm doing to help you learn about what it is, what it consists of, and how to achieve it, so you can begin to build a plan for your own exercise and training to live well late into life. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of them. I've also created a playlist with the videos and live streams in this series, so check the link in the description or look up here to see it. And if you want some help, insight, and feedback to help you get started exercising for lifelong strength and health, I'm now offering exercise strategy sessions. You'll be able to ask me questions and get specialized feedback and suggestions so you can get started safely and confidently. The link is in the description. Now, when you think about training your aerobic conditioning, a good model to follow is to think of building a pyramid. Pyramids are very durable structures, and that's what we want our aerobic system to be. So here are the two keys to training. First, focus on building a solid base for your pyramid, Zone 2. A wide base of Zone 2 gives you the overall strength and endurance you need to keep moving for the rest of your life. That wide base is also the perfect platform for the second key, VO2 Max Training. You want to top off your pyramid with VO2 Max. A high VO2 Max will give you the ability to deal with all those situations in life where we need shorter bursts of high output, from hiking on a trail, going for a bike ride, to chasing the grandkids around the playground. The higher your VO2 Max, the longer you will be able to remain active in the things you love doing. In terms of percentages of your aerobic conditioning time, Zone 2 should be 80 to 90%, and VO2 Max training should be 10 to 20%. So if you're able to devote 2 hours a week to aerobic conditioning, you would want about an hour and 40 minutes of Zone 2 and about 20 minutes in VO2 Max. While we're doing aerobic conditioning, we want to be in the correct heart rate effort level to get the full benefit from our training. For Zone 2 training, our heart rate should be somewhere between 65 to 80% of our maximum heart rate. For VO2 Max training, our heart rate should be between 90 and 95% of maximum heart rate. How do you determine your maximum heart rate? Well, short of doing a max heart rate test in a lab or on your own, you won't be 100% sure, but that's okay, because we can get pretty close with some math and the talk test. For the math part, we can estimate our max heart rate with some calculators. Now, many of you may have heard of the 220 minus your age as one way. Well, there are other more accurate calculators out there, and I've posted a link in the description to a site that can give you a range of your max heart rate based on different calculations. The link is in the description. Now, you'll see that for me, the various calculators on that site estimate my maximum heart rate to be somewhere between 153 and 173. Now, I've seen 168 in a recent VO2 Max workout, so I'm probably closer to 173 for that true max. Either way, unless you have a true max heart rate, use the calculator results as a starting point. That's going to get you close enough for now. Now, let's talk about how to use that heart rate number for each type of training. First is Zone 2 training. For Zone 2 training, we want to get to the point where we can comfortably do continuous sessions of at least 30 minutes, up to a couple of hours, at that 65 to 85% of max heart rate. Many people find their zone 2 to be around 70% of their max heart rate, but some are closer at 80. Everyone's a little different. If you don't have an actual lab test to tell you what your zone 2 heart rate is, that's most of us, a great way to test whether you're working too hard and out of zone 2 is with the talk test. Basically, if you can speak in short sentences of 5 to 6 words before taking a breath, you're probably in the right zone. If you have to stop and take a breath every couple words, it's probably a bit too hard, so dial back the effort. Zone 2 should be something where you can carry on a conversation, but people will know you're exercising. To get the most from your zone 2 training, find an activity that you can maintain an even effort level for the entire work period. Activities that could work for this are running on a level ground, treadmill, indoor cycling, think of Peloton, Zwift, etc., elliptical trainer, indoor rowing, or swimming. The key is to avoid sudden starts and stops or hills because that can cause your heart rate to bounce around instead of remaining steady in zone 2. So, to start out, find your approximate zone 2 heart rate by multiplying your estimated max heart rate by 0.7. For me, that would be around 120. Do 10 minutes of an easy warm-up, then settle into the effort that holds your heart rate around that number. Then use the talk test to confirm your effort level and adjust up or down accordingly. Once you get used to zone 2 training, you should finish each workout pleasantly tired but not exhausted. You shouldn't feel worn out or tired the next day. Try to get in 2 to 4 zone 2 workouts each week of at least 30 minutes. And those zone 2 workouts can be up to a couple of hours in length if you want. Now for VO2 max training, compared to zone 2, VO2 max training is very challenging, but thankfully, you only need to do these workouts once a week. An important note, don't jump into doing VO2 max intervals until you've built a decent aerobic base of zone 2 training, being able to comfortably do at least a couple of 30-minute sessions each week for a few weeks in a row. For the VO2 max sessions, the goal is to work up to doing 3 to 4 efforts of 2 to 4 minutes each, with each effort finishing with your heart rate pretty close to your max. The total time of your VO2 max range should be somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes for each VO2 max workout. You can do VO2 max workouts just about any way that you like. Many people use a bike or running, but you can also use a rowing machine, incline treadmill, or stair stepper. The key is to get a good warm-up, then for each interval, start at a level that is difficult, but that you can maintain for the entire time, with the last bit of each interval being very, very difficult to complete. After each interval, take an active recovery period, slow running, pedaling, walking, for 2 to 4 minutes until your heart rate drops down to around 100 or so before you start the next interval. Now it's going to probably take you a few workouts to find that correct balance between difficult and too difficult that causes you to gas out before the end of the interval. So for me, as an example, I often do 4-minute intervals on the track for my VO2 max sessions. At the start of that interval, within the first minute or so, my heart rate gets pretty quickly up into the high 40s to low 150s. And the last minute or so, I'm pushing 165, which is close to 95% of my max heart rate. I'll do 3 to 4 minutes of walking and jogging as a recovery between each of those work portions. How do you plan your training week? Fitting your aerobic conditioning into your overall weekly routine might take some adjustment, but hopefully not too much. The key is to find a system that works for you, making it easy to maintain on a week-to-week basis. If you can get in 3 Zone 2 sessions and 1 VO2 Max session a week, you're going to be on a great track. Now, many of you might be like me, where you're also doing some strength training in addition to aerobic conditioning. If so, you need to do a little bit more planning, but shouldn't be too much more difficult. If you can do a workout every day, you can split up the aerobic conditioning and the strength training sessions. Now, here's my current schedule as an example. Monday is strength training. Tuesday is going to be a longer Zone 2 session. Wednesday, some more strength training. Thursday, a longer Zone 2 session. Friday, strength training. Saturday, a shorter Zone 2 session followed by VO2 Max in the same workout. And then Sunday, Zone 2 or a rest day if I've worked particularly hard. Now, you don't have to work out every day. If you are crunched for available days, it's okay to do both strength training and Zone 2 on the same day. You can also do a shorter Zone 2 session at the beginning of your VO2 Max workout, which is what I do, and it's a great way to get fully warmed up before the VO2 Max intervals. If you were to employ both strategies, you could get 3 strength training sessions, 4 Zone 2 sessions, and 1 VO2 Max session in just 4 days each week. Here's an example. Monday, Zone 2 and strength training. Wednesday, Zone 2 and strength training. Friday, Zone 2 and strength. Saturday or Sunday, Zone 2 with a VO2 Max as all in one interval or one workout. Now you can mix and match just about any way you want, but I'd recommend to not do strength training and VO2 Max on the same day, or don't do VO2 Max the day after leg day. What if you've watched this video and I've inspired you to start building your aerobic capacity and aerobic conditioning, but you haven't done any real intentional exercise in a long time, or maybe you've never exercised? Well, I've got you covered, because here's a 6-step program to get you started exercising and slowly and safely increase your aerobic conditioning to the point where you will be able to do Zone 2 and VO2 Max workouts. After that, the sky's the limit. Now, first, before you do anything, make sure to get your doctor's okay to start exercising. You don't want any surprises or bad outcomes. Tell your doctor what you're wanting to do and get their okay before you start any exercise program. After the doctor's okay, you want to find an aerobic activity that is easy for you to do and that you enjoy. This needs to be something that you don't have to think about or prepare for in order to do. For many people, walking is the perfect exercise. You can do it just about anywhere, and all you need is some comfortable shoes and season-appropriate clothing. Other activities you could consider would be indoor cycling, a treadmill, Stairmaster, or indoor rowing machine. The second step is to start slow and build. Take your time and start with just a few minutes of the activity. If you can do a few minutes several times a day, that's a great start. Work at an effort level that keeps your heart rate in the talk test zone. If you need to slow down to stay in the talk test zone, then slow down. At the beginning, you may even need to stop walking or your activity for a few minutes. That's perfectly fine. The goal here is to get your body used to moderate exercise and to build the exercise habit. Slowly increase your time for each session, but do not increase your intensity. The goal here is just to get to where you can comfortably do a 30-minute session at that talk test effort level, and do that at least every other day. Now, this might take you a few weeks or months, depending where you're starting from. That's all good. Once you can comfortably do 30 minutes, work on getting 1 or 2 sessions a week up to, say, 45 minutes. And I'd suggest staying at this level for at least a month or 2 to build a decent aerobic base. Think of your pyramid. Then, and only then, should you start to think about doing any VO2 Max sessions. Now, when you start VO2 Max sessions, keep the work interval short, maybe only 30 seconds to 1 minute in length at the beginning. Just enough to get your heart rate into the upper reaches. Get used to doing that for a few weeks, and then you can think about increasing the length of the interval from 30 seconds to maybe 1 to 4 minutes, and doing 2 to 4 of those intervals in each session. Keep doing your 2 to 4 Zone 2 sessions each week, and add the VO2 Max sessions on top of that. Before you know it, you'll be in the habit of exercising, feeling better, having more energy for whatever the day throws at you. There you have it, the basics of aerobic conditioning for lifelong strength and health. Now with this video, you should have enough to get started building your conditioning and help increase the odds that you will remain independent and active late into life. Now, do you currently do dedicated aerobic conditioning? Leave a comment below and let us know how you train and what the results have been. I'm anxious to see what successes you've had with aerobic conditioning. Now, if you want some help getting started with aerobic conditioning and a more personalized plan on how to do it, feel free to schedule an exercise strategy session with me, and I can help you start building your aerobic conditioning with confidence. The link is in the description. Now, in upcoming episodes of this series, we're going to dig a little deeper into all of the components of lifelong strength and health that I've been talking about, laying out some strategies that you can use to make continual and ongoing progress. So be sure to subscribe, give us a big, gigantic thumbs up, and click that bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. It really does help the algorithm and help people find this channel. Now, if you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who could benefit from it. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and once again, consider subscribing. It really does help. Now, if you want to learn more about what lifelong strength and health looks like, or how walking can have powerful benefits that can get you started exercising and help build the habit, check out these links at the end of the video. That's it for now. Until next time, take care, enjoy the journey, and be well.